Well, in June of this year, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that a city has the right to take private property to increase an area's economic development. Now, what makes this a landmark ruling is not that eminent domain is being used to condemn private property, because that's often done to build roads and such public works. The difference here is that after the city of New London, Connecticut, which is the court case is all about, takes control of this land, its plan is to then sell that land to a private developer, essentially allowing government to favor those uses that would provide the highest tax revenues. And that has farm groups concerned that this ruling will allow government entities to eat up farmland under the guise of economic development. As Sam Knipp reports, Oklahoma lawmakers are now looking at legislation that would make such a move much harder.
Can a farmer prevent his land from becoming a shopping center? After this summer's U.S. Supreme Court decision on eminent domain, that question is on the minds of all landowners. An Oklahoma legislative task force hopes to answer that question by strengthening state law. During a public hearing at the state capitol, the president of the American Farm Bureau said condemning private land for public use could devastate agriculture.
Agricultural land is particularly vulnerable to this type of condemnation. First, there's a lot of it. Agricultural lands, especially those in expanding exurban areas, provide a ready source for potential shopping malls or industrial parks. Second, agricultural lands are relatively inexpensive in comparison to residential or commercial property, making the condemnation less costly.
When Task Force Chairman State Senator Clark Jolly asked Stallman if this case can be enforced in the name of rural economic development, Stallman said there are better ways to improve rural areas.
We believe that communities can do things to create incentives for economic development, and there's a lot of discussion about rural development in the context of the new Farm Bill discussions. And so it's an important issue, but the solution is not giving governments the ability to condemn private property for someone else's economic gain.
The American Farm Bureau used Stallman's Oklahoma testimony to kick off a nationwide campaign to protect property rights. It's called Stop Taking Our Property. During a meeting with Oklahoma farm leaders following his testimony, Stallman explained why that's important.
We believe that when we do the sweat and sometimes the blood to get the land and acquire the property, that government shouldn't be able to take it away from us.
Among the measures proposed by the Oklahoma Legislative Task Force, limit the use of eminent domain to exclude economic development. Oklahoma is one of about a dozen states to have taken action to strengthen property rights in the wake of the Supreme Court decision.